The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon is back with the Book of Carol, but I have seen enough. We need to turn no more pages. Let's just put this book in the paper shredder and never talk about it again. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We are back, but we didn't miss the AMC.
No, we did not. In this episode, it was called La Gentillesse, the Daisy Strange War.
Yeah, it's season 2 of Daryl Dixon in France, and honestly, man, this season, as bad as the first season was, I think this season is going to be even worse. Just a very boring, predictable episode that insults your intelligence from start to finish. Honestly, we get Carol, who is not a likeable character. Nothing interesting is happening in France. We get introduced to Ash Patel. Well, I have no real issues with the guy. I mean, he's not an exciting character. He's not someone that I'm going to be grabbing the tissues for when he dies in episode 2. It's just not a lot to care about in this episode. But we'll start in France. So we see Daryl Dixon. He's training Laurent to become a fighter like him. But it turns out Lausanne, he doesn't want Laurent to be a fighter because Laurent is going to be better than that, and he doesn't like Daryl Dixon's violent ways compared to the Union of Hope, and they've got a more peaceful thing going here, and I just don't want to see this. I mean, we've already seen it in the past, and at the beginning of The Walking Dead, it made kind of sense when the group would turn up at like Herschel's farm, and Herschel's like, nah, we don't kill walkers, we don't kill people. That made sense. And then you've got some other communities that maybe haven't been trained to kill yet, or haven't come into a scenario where they need to kill, so you can understand them being reluctant. But when you look at Morgan, I mean, we've literally spent 10 years now of Morgan walking around with his stick, patronising people about why we can't kill, why we can't do this, why we can't do that, and a lot of times we've seen it lead to people's deaths, to be honest. So he has been a liability, but we've seen Morgan with his stick and his, goody two-shoes attitude here, trying to be morally right, even though he's probably killed a lot more people before he picked up that stick than everybody else on the planet. And I just don't think we need to see it again with the Union of Hope. It's unrealistic to think that you can be in a zombie apocalypse with horrible people and you won't need to kill.
No, absolutely. I mean, this just creates weak men at the end of the day. And I think 15, 20 years, however long, you can't keep... I refuse to believe that people like this survive. I think it works for Eastman and maybe Ash, who are isolated for the rest of the world, but you can clearly see the Union of Hope here and Lausanne. They're all, they're obviously involved with other groups. And his master plan about, I want to take down Jeanette and her troops, the two that they've captured Falou and Emile, without violence. You need violence in this world.
Yeah,
there's a place for it.
You do need violence, and I think we'll just cover the French stuff while we're on it here. So, Daryl is... I think he's beginning to regret his decision. I don't think we see him talking to the French woman whose name Isabelle, or whatever her name is. I think he's regretting staying behind. He probably misses America. We then see him and some of the Union of Hope go to try and rescue Falou and Emile, who have been captured by Janae's troops. They tried to get them peacefully, but I mean, like you said, how's a couple of guys with some sticks going to take down an armoured French military unit? It's not
completely unrealistic. You're literally sending your people to die.
Yeah, now they set off a little explosive that would take out the tires, but that didn't go off, so they get told to abort, but Daryl's like, nah, we ain't aborting, this is our chance. He steps out, snipes a couple of guys, kills them, pretty much kills all the men, and then it comes down to Daryl and Janae. She is the leader. She's the one that Daryl had an issue with last season. She took over. She took control. He's got her in her sights. He's reloading his gun. There's an explosion behind him. Daryl looks behind him for about 2 seconds. Then he looks in front of himself, and she's no longer there. And it's just unreal. We're supposed to believe that this Janae managed to sneak away from Daryl in 2 seconds. Daryl, the same guy that, a month later, he could pick up your scent out in the fucking forest and manage to track you, but he can't track where Janae went when he wasn't looking for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and he doesn't keep his eyes on the prize. She could have killed him here, could have whipped out a gun and shot him. This is a guy who, out of this entire universe, you would say he's probably got the best survival instinct. He's the hunter. He's the guy going into combat you would want. He's like a soldier. This makes no sense. This is red shirt material where they get distracted by the explosion. And I mean, say this was Daryl held at gunpoint here by somebody. And it was a nobody.
Yeah, they turn around, look at the explosion. Daryl takes
Crossbow
him
through
out.
the eye. Boom. Good night.
Yeah, but plot purposes here, Daryl can't kill a woman, obviously, and especially not in like a, the execution style kill.
Aye. Defenseless.
And that's pretty much it. That kind of covers all the French shit. We then go to Carol. She arrives at the motor shop where she's looking for Daryl, the repair shop. She says that there's this guy, he sold me this car, do you know where he is? One of the guys mentions Dixon, and they say that Dixon was an asshole. So Carol kind of obviously realises, maybe these people have done something to Daryl. She sees his crossbow, she lifts his crossbow up, she's got these guys in her crosshairs, but, crossbow, you can only shoot one arrow at a time. Shoots some guy in the foot, and instead of the guys closing in on her and, easily taking her down, because, let's be honest, this is Carol. It's an old 60-year-old woman that was never training, that never physically got fit. It's not like Michonne, who was in good shape and, looks like she could kick some ass. Carol just looks like she should be at home dishwashing. She doesn't need a dishwasher. She can wash them by hands, I'm sure. But no, none of the guys even dare attempt to take her down. And instead, they just give her what they want, even though she shot this guy in the foot. And then she lets them know that one of their little buddies is trapped in a trunk of a car, and he's got like an hour left of breathing.
Another funny thing about this is there was like 3 guys here, but as she leaves, like 20 guys just appear out of nowhere. It's like, where were they when they were under attack?
Yeah, she tells them not to follow her. And that's like a threat. That's basically like her saying, if you follow me, I'll kill you all. Who are they trying to kid? Fucking cat. No. Look at the state here, and we're supposed to believe that she's going to take out 20 men.
Name me a TV show where you see this. Like, where one person goes into enemy territories, like, and threatens them all. Like, you don't see it, because you wouldn't walk out alive.
She books herself like Steven Seagal.
Right, well, obviously it's Greg Nicotero that's booking it, like, but not Melissa Dishwasher.
She then goes to the shipyard, because they give her information that Daryl could be in France. He got a lift to France. So she goes to the shipyard to try and find some ships. There's none there. I don't know what her plan was. Does she know how to, command a ship? Would she know how to get a ship from America to France? I highly doubt it. That was her plan. She notices that there's no ships. She's going to give up, and then all of a sudden she's a plane flying above her head. I mean, how convenient is that? She needs to get to France. There's no ships. Then she sees a plane.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that absolutely ridiculous. It's just like, that is insulting your intelligence, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely retarded. She follows the plane, but she doesn't watch in the road, and she bangs into a walker. Car, flips over. Is she going to die? Is the walker's going to get her? No, because it's Carol, and only red shirts die for walkers, so she manages to get out.
I mean, you see when Michonne and the midget, like, they survived for, like, the chlorine gas. It took them, like, 8 months to recover, whatever. Maybe the correct thing would be, like, she stumbles upon Ash and helps build the plane, rather than just conveniently seeing one in the sky that he's rebuilt.
Oh, aye, because Carol can build a plane.
Yeah, well, she can read a manual like she can read the back of a very up liquid.
Yeah, so she then manages to track down Ash's compound or whatever you want to call it, and she pretends that she's been caught in one of his traps so that he will come out and find her. She then plays the innocent little victim. Ash lets her stay for the night. He gives her food. Lets her sleep in the barn. We get some Sylvia flashbacks because the barn triggers them. So we get that. Next day, he goes out and she spots his greenhouse. She wonders what happens in the greenhouse. What has he got in the greenhouse? She breaks into the greenhouse. She sees a little shrine. She sees like a little memorial that he's made for, which is obviously his son. But walkers follow her into the greenhouse. The greenhouse gets destroyed. Ash has to save her. Carol claims that the memorial's still intact, but I mean the entire greenhouse is fucking destroyed. There's walker blood and death and guts everywhere.
She should never have known there was a memorial, because she should never have broke in.
Yeah, I know. It's just not what you do. But
no, I mean that's just retarded. It's like, yeah, I've destroyed the graveyard, but that one grave's all right.
Yeah. Then Carol says like she'll help tidy up, and then she'll look to leave. But I mean, Ash opens up a little bit about his son, and then he decides to let her stay. They're having dinner. Carol says she misses having a friend, so she's trying to claim that she wants to stick around now to be Ash's friend. Ash then, asks her about her daughter, about her life. She says that she had a husband, it was a bad marriage, but something good came out of it. He says that Ed took Sophia to France to visit her aunt, and then that's when all this happened, and that Carol hasn't done anything since, and now she wants to go and look. Ash kind of questions this. He's like, why haven't you done anything till now? And Carol's like, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, actually. Why
That's a very good question, but see if she's going to lie about the fact Sophia and Ed are in France, why not just put Ed over and be like, I was great. Great husband. Automatically has to double down on the fact that Ed was pish, but here, Sophia, they're both still alive in France, maybe.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, imagine Rick woke up and just sat in the hospital for 12 years and went, you know what, I better go and try and find my son and wife. I mean, who would believe that? But Ash kind of figures out, here, you don't want a friend, you're bullshitting me, you're only here because you want my plane. You want me to take you to France. So Ash then is like, you've lied to me again. He demands Carol to leave. Carol says, well, I had to try. So she leaves, but Ash, I guess, has a change of heart, follows her, pulls over, and he asks her a question. He says, if it was me and I came to you looking for your help to find my son, would you? And Carol's like, if I thought he was alive, yeah.
Bullshit.
And it's like, bullshit. I mean, we've seen Carol. I mean, this is a woman that kills people first and then asks questions later. For her to even suggest that she would go out of her way and fly halfway across the world to try and help some stranger that she does not know, help his son that he has not seen in 12 years and likely will not even be alive, for her to claim she would do that is fucking straight up lies.
This is the same woman that killed people because they had a flu that might have killed them.
Yeah, I mean, what a disgrace. I mean, why can't she just be honest? We can see the kind of person Carol is, right? And it's not a nice person. She's lied throughout this entire episode. Why can't she just turn around and say, no, but I think you're a better person than me?
Yeah.
I'd respect that.
I know, but it's just funny, though, because see back in the prison when she killed Karen and David, it's like seeing you look at Glenn. Glenn would have died if he didn't get the oxygen tanks and the medical supplies. But Rick, in like seasons 5 and 6, just brushes it off as if, oh, she did what any of us would do. You're only saying that, but that you get this feeling in The Walking Dead that it's this one, like, happy family. It depends who they kill. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want to portray a happy group, then it should matter when any is die.
See if Carl was sick and Carol killed him, would she be allowed back in the group?
Of course not.
But no, we have to forgive her because she killed like a red shirt and Karen, who was not really doing much.
It's like Reg getting his throat slit by, what's his name?
Pete.
Here, accidental. Was he trying to hurt Rick? Yeah, and he kills Reg. But what's more justifiable? Carl killed people in cold blood. He did it accidentally.
Yeah, but
Rick just fucking executes him.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking...
See, in The Walking Dead season, Carol shouldn't even be alive, man. No, it should. Rick should have found out. He should have went to Tyrese. He's like, right, she's done this. How do you want to handle it? We're human. We still want to keep civilization alive. We're not going to torture her. Do you want to just shoot her? Or publicly hang her or something? I don't know.
we want to be human, publicly hang her.
Oh, well, we know what I mean.
No, she should have just been kicked out the group, I think, and not been offered back.
Or do you think Tyrese should have been offered the chance to shoot her?
No, but let's be honest. I mean, it's because it's a woman and they can't have Tyrese do anything. I guarantee you, see if it was a man that killed Karen, then Tyrese would have... I mean, look what he done to Daryl and Rick when they were trying to help him.
I know.
See, when he was trying to find out who done it, he was willing to batter anybody to get the answers. Then he gets the answers and he just lets Carol live. He lets her go because she's a female. It's fucking retarded. Speaking of being woke, speaking of what you're not allowed to do, I just look at this show. Nothing against this Ash guy, but again, they bring in another good guy. They bring in another, protagonist, and of course, he has to be non-white. And we've seen this throughout all 3 of the spin-offs. In Dead City, you have the cop Pearl. He's black. You have the black guy in the group. You have the woman that is like, I believe she's like Latina or something like that. And then the only white guy that he had in that group, Tommaso, he was like betraying them anyway. He was like a backstabber. So you just don't get any like, you can't be white now and be a good guy. These shows are evidently trying to show that. It's like the only time you can be a white guy is when you're part of the main group. But they can't bring anybody else in.
Or you were like a part of the group back in the day when the show wasn't as woke.
I mean, you look at Daryl Dixon. You've got Falou. Obviously, he's black. You have the other guy that died. He's black. You've got Ash now who's come in. he is like Indian or Pakistani or whatever, you know, from descent from somewhere over there. And like you look at Quinn. He was the white guy in season 1, but he was another guy that was betraying them. He was sneaky, and he gave them up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at The Walking Dead, the ones who live, Okafor, the guy that helps Rick, obviously black. You look at the group that helped Michonne. You had the midget. You had the other black guy that was, you know, with the sister. It's just you don't get white people. It's like the only white people they give you are the bad guys, like the Croat, white, bad guy, the Colonel in The Walking Dead, the ones who live, white. Then like you look at the soldier, is it Grenier or whatever? Not Grenier. What's the soldier guy?
Grenier.
Grenier. I mean white. And another things like every show they have to push the woman as superior. Like they want women to be superior. Again, you look at this show. It's Janae's troops. Like why is the woman the leader? Honestly, like.
I mean, like they've casted Kim Coates for Dead City, bad guy. You know what I mean?
Of course,
it's like because he's the old white guy, has to be bad.
So yeah, you look at like Janae. She's the woman. Oh, you look at Dead City. You think it's a Croat. It turns out it's the Dam. And then you look at the ones who live, and you think it's going to be Colonel Beale, but instead it basically turns out to Jada. You know, oh she's the real, you know, antagonist. She's the real like person in power. And then after that, you know, it was the South African woman. But it's like they just make men pathetic in these new shows.
No, they do. You're either evil or a pathetic simp if you're a white man.
And even the white men that are like antagonists, they're not like they're always like not the real antagonist, you know, like
the underboss, the female.
It's woke as hell. Anyway, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10, man. I thought this episode was insulting our intelligence. Carol just lied throughout it. And then also, the compound getting destroyed at the end after the electricity blows up the power unit that the guy's using, that Ash is using to protect his compound. And then his security gates just wide open. It's like, what dumbass would set up a security system like that when you get a power out, everything automatically opens and allows the walkers to come in?
No, it's ridiculous.
I mean, who designed that?
No, it just...
And we're supposed to believe this guy's been living here for over 10 years? That this guy survived with a setup like that?
It is exactly what you would set up. It's like almost like someone sabotaged the setup.
Exactly. And another thing, it's like, how many times do we see this? People live forever, and then as soon as the main characters come, they just die, or the place gets destroyed.
It's ridiculous, man.
So this guy's living here peacefully, fine. Carol shows up. Oh, yeah, his compound's just
retarded.
I mean, it's like a main character curse. As soon as they turn up somewhere, they ruin everything.
I hate it.
They absolutely destroy
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10, guys. Let us know your thoughts down below. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, though, peace.